You look fine on the outside, but inside, something feels off. So why? Why, after all this effort and sincerity, does your heart still feel heavy at times? Why does joy feel shallow or temporary? You look fine on the outside. Your life is functioning. People don't see anything wrong. But inside, something feels off. You can't always explain it. It's not dramatic. It's not a crisis. It's just this quiet sense that something isn't aligned, and it follows you through your days. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. For many people, this feeling is deeply confusing. It's a quiet, persistent hum of dissonance beneath the surface of an otherwise orderly life. It's not a crisis, not a loud alarm, but a subtle, nagging question mark that hangs in the air even on the sunniest of days. You look out the window, and everything seems fine, but the landscape of your inner world feels unsettled, shrouded in a gentle fog. This confusion stems from a logical disconnect. Because when you take stock, when you look at your life on paper, you should feel okay. You should feel content, even grateful. You've checked the boxes, you've followed the map you were given. The life you've built is solid, respectable. There are no glaring cracks in the foundation, no obvious reasons for this internal unrest. It's a paradox that can make you feel isolated, as if you're the only one experiencing this strange, unnamed ache. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You show up day in and day out. You're responsible not just for yourself, but for others. You meet your deadlines, you pay your bills, you manage your home. You are the reliable one, the person others can count on. Your life is a testament to your diligence and your commitment to doing the right things. You've built a routine, a structure that is meant to provide stability and peace. And it's not just about external actions. Your internal compass is pointed in the right direction too. You believe in God. Your faith is a cornerstone of your identity, a source of moral guidance and hope. You try to live right, to be kind, to serve others, to make choices that honor your beliefs. You pray, you read, you seek to connect with God. You are, by all accounts, walking a faithful path. So why? Why, after all this effort and sincerity, does your heart still feel heavy at times? Why does this restlessness persist, like an unwelcome guest who refuses to leave? Why does peace, when it comes, feel so fragile, so easily disturbed? It arrives like a butterfly, beautiful and welcome, but flutters away at the slightest disturbance, leaving you once again with the familiar weight of unease. Why does joy feel shallow or temporary? You experience moments of happiness, of course. A laugh with a friend, a beautiful sunset, a sense of accomplishment. But the feeling doesn't seem to penetrate to your core. It's like a pleasant warmth on the surface of your skin that never quite reaches the chill deep inside. The joy is real, but it's short-lived, and its departure leaves behind a hollow echo. Most people don't talk about this. In a world that celebrates strength and certainty, this quiet misalignment feels like a vulnerability, a secret to be kept. We learn to perform contentment. We post the smiling photos, we share the good news, and we keep the internal dissonance to ourselves. We assume it means something is fundamentally wrong with us, that we're ungrateful or broken, or simply not trying hard enough. Or worse, for a person of faith, the fear is that something is wrong with their faith. We think if I truly believed, I would have unshakable peace. If my connection to God was real, I wouldn't feel this emptiness. This thought can be terrifying, leading to a spiral of shame and doubt. It feels like a spiritual failure, a sign that God is distant or disappointed. So what do we do? We ignore it. We push it down. We distract ourselves with endless tasks, with noise, with entertainment. We stay busy, believing that if we just keep moving, we can outrun the feeling. We fill every quiet moment, because in the silence, the restlessness speaks loudest. We build a fortress of activity around our hearts, hoping to keep the discomfort at bay. But that feeling doesn't disappear. It can't be outrun or ignored forever. It just goes quiet. It recedes into the background, a low-frequency hum beneath the noise of your life. It waits. It waits for a moment of stillness, for a crack in your defenses, for the day when you're too tired to keep running. Because this feeling isn't a failure. It's a signal. It's a gentle, persistent invitation from your soul, asking you to stop, to turn inward, and to finally listen. That unsettled feeling is rarely about what you're doing wrong. More often, it's about what you've drifted away from. You can be doing good things while being disconnected from your inner life. You can be faithful while being emotionally exhausted. You can be productive while being spiritually misaligned. We live in a world that teaches us how to function, how to succeed, how to perform. But very few spaces teach us how to stay centered. So we learn how to cope, how to manage, how to appear okay. But the soul doesn't heal through performance. It heals through alignment. Many of us were taught, directly or indirectly, that feeling unsettled means we should try harder, pray more, serve more, fix something. But trying harder doesn't fix misalignment. It often deepens it. Because when your soul is tired, effort feels like pressure. And pressure doesn't bring peace. It just teaches us how to hide better. That's why this feeling doesn't go away, even when life looks fine. In our modern rush to find formulas for a better life, we often overlook what the Bible speaks directly to the heart of our struggles. Scripture actually speaks to this more clearly than we often realize. We tend to search its pages for rules, for grand theological doctrines, or for stories of miraculous strength. And while those things are there, the Bible also offers something far more intimate, a language for our inner world. It provides a mirror to the soul, reflecting back the very feelings of misalignment we try so hard to hide. The Bible doesn't describe a healthy life as a busy life, or a constantly strong one, or even a successful one by the world's standards. It doesn't hold up a picture of someone who never falters, never questions, and never feels weary. Instead, it consistently points toward a different ideal, a centered life. A life that is anchored not in external performance, but in internal honesty and connection with God. This is a radical departure from the cultural messages we absorb every day, which equate worth with productivity and strength with stoicism. The biblical vision of health is one of alignment, where the heart, soul, and mind are oriented toward their Creator, even in the midst of imperfection. Consider David, a figure described with the highest honor as a man after God's own heart. This description can be misleading if we imagine it means he was perfect. He wasn't. His life was a tapestry of soaring faith and deep failure, of courageous leadership and profound personal weakness. He was not always stable. He was not always strong. He experienced seasons of intense fear, grief, and regret. But what set David apart was his relentless honesty about his inner life. He refused to pretend. In the Psalms, we are given a raw, unfiltered look into his soul. He didn't just feel these things privately. He articulated them, wrestled with them, and most importantly, he brought them into the light of God's presence. He talked openly about restlessness, sorrow, and weariness. He gave voice to the feeling of being forgotten by God, of his bones wasting away, of his soul being downcast within him. He didn't hide it. He didn't suppress it in the name of faith. He brought it to God, believing that God was a safe place for his brokenness. That tells us something incredibly important. It's a lesson that can untangle years of religious anxiety and pressure. God is not threatened by your inner unrest, your feelings of being misaligned, your spiritual fatigue, your moments of doubt. None of it surprises him or pushes him away. He's not disappointed by your fatigue, even when you think you should be stronger. He doesn't shame your questions, even when you fear they reveal a lack of faith. Your internal chaos is not an obstacle to God. It is the very place he intends to meet you. He doesn't stand at a distance, waiting for you to get your act together. He doesn't demand that you present a polished, fixed version of yourself before you can approach him. Instead, he invites you in your entirety into restoration. The invitation is always open. Bring your weariness, bring your confusion, bring your downcast soul. He is the God who restores, who makes paths in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. This is the gentle truth of faith. A healthy life after God's heart is not a life without struggle. It's a life that stays honest and aligned. It's a life that continually returns to center, that dares to be truthful about its own condition, trusting that God's grace is sufficient for every moment of weakness. It's about choosing connection over performance and honesty over appearance. This is where true strength is found, not in the absence of cracks, but in the courage to bring them to the one who can fill them with gold. That quiet feeling inside you is not condemnation. It's an invitation to stop living from the outside in and start living from the inside out. To stop asking, "What should I be doing?" and start asking, "What is my soul needing right now?" God's desire is not just obedience, it's wholeness. Not just belief, but rest. Not just activity, but alignment. A healthy life after God's own heart is not a loud life. It's a centered one. So here's a gentle question for you today. What part of you has been ignored while you focused on staying functional? What feeling have you been pushing down instead of listening to? You don't need to fix it today. You don't need answers yet. Awareness is the first act of healing. If you've been carrying that quiet sense of being off inside, this channel exists for you. Here we talk about fear, anxiety, exhaustion, faith, trust and healing, not from pressure, but from alignment with God's heart. In the next video, we'll talk about what it means when faith feels distant, even when you still believe. You're not alone, and you don't have to rush this journey.